I never had this thing sitting right. And we always washing dishes at this time. I just noticed that. Oh. Hmm. There's people who are so talented in this world, y'all. So talented. Mm-mm. Hello, hello, hello. His hair look a mess. This wig. Mark will be down in a minute. Just waiting on Mark to come downstairs, per usual. He putting the kids in bed, so give us a minute. Hey, Dawn. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I feel like, is it the lens or is it these lashes? I like this and it's clear as I want it to be. I don't know. What y'all up to today? What y'all got to drink? You already know. Not supposed to be having wine because of our current fitness challenge, but I'm gonna drink a little bit of wine today. I haven't had wine in about a week, and I'm known to drink several glasses a night, so I think I deserve this. So I have the Cooper's Hawk Sangria Red. Yeah, Sangria Red. That's what I'm gonna have tonight. I couldn't find my wine stopper, so I had to put a little bit of foil on top. We are good. We are doing well. Um, can't complain. You know what I'm saying? Cannot complain. Gotta get this every time, y'all. Like, so this is a little flyer for basketball camp, and it's like just like some of the stuff you don't think about when you're having kids is just like obviously people talk about the cost of feeding and clothing them and shoot, stuff like that. But the little cost that you don't think about, like basketball camp, and for two kids, um, this is for the girls. Like for Mariah, it'll be $115, and for Morgan, it'll be $145. Like for a 5-day basketball camp for a few hours a day. And it's just like those type of costs, that's the stuff that you really don't think about, like the football fees and all of the equipment that goes along with that, and the soccer fees and the gymnastics fees and the softball fees, and then of course, like I said, all the equipment. Why didn't you just pause it? Could just push the pause button. But yeah, of course, all of the equipment that goes with all of those sports, it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's just, everything is just so expensive. Like, then this is just on top of their basic necessities. Every time I think about it, I'm like, those are like costs that nobody talks about when you talk about having kids. Like, people just say it's expensive, but when you think about like stuff like you don't think about stuff like that. You couldn't turn that light off
What light?
on the stove.
No.
Why are you swishing it around like it's mouthwash?
I'm taking a pill.
Um,
You won't go.
I always had trouble with that light. That's why I told you to do it.
Why'd you cut it on?
Because I needed it.
For what?
It was like 3 days ago. I always had trouble with that light. There you go. I don't know what would be wrong with that light. I always had trouble with it. But yeah, those are the hidden costs that you just really like don't think about when people talk about having kids. Like that I gotta pay $200 for basketball camp, which I think is just gonna be $100. I don't think you can send Mariah because Mariah's session is only 2 hours and Morgan's is 3 hours. So that means we would have to come back. It's at the same time on the same day, but one session is an hour shorter.
Right.
It was fine. So why you even have to move it?
Because it was too far close up on me. What you mean? It wasn't.
Just be whatever. I like some lip balm.
Okay. Where you go?
It's a dirty hoodie on.
It's not dirty.
I just cleaned.
I was about to put it on. Yo. What's up, everybody? Look like we we're just getting started. So, what you been talking about? Oh. So what we sipping on? Technically, we ain't supposed to be drinking, but we are. Cece is drinking. Oh. Now I'm drinking some blueberry Moscato. No hen tonight. At least not yet. So
just keep opening my stuff.
Okay.
You do.
It's R came out of our bank account, so that would make it our stuff.
It's my personal money.
Okay. So that would make it our stuff.
Whatever. Man, we got something to talk to y'all about today.
We do?
Yes. What happened yesterday?
Oh.
We got something to talk to y'all about today.
Guess we'll wait until about 9:15.
Yeah, trying to give people some time to get on because I don't want to repeat it, but yeah. So how have you guys been? We've been doing if you follow us on Instagram, then you know we've been doing our 75 hard challenge. And today is day 11. We've been doing so well with the water and the working out.
Sorry, trying to get the link.
What are you doing, sir?
Trying to get the link.
With the water and the working out and the eating right, and like we've been doing so well. And so we've been doing 75 hard. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is for 75 days. You work out twice a day for 45 minutes. Cannot be like one 90-minute workout. It got to be twice a day for 45 minutes. And one of the workouts has to be outside in the elements. You have to follow some sort of calorie deficit diet. Doesn't matter what kind of diet, but you have to follow a calorie deficit diet. You have to read 10 pages of a book a day. Did you read today?
Yep.
You have to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book a day. You're supposed to take a picture of yourself every single day to show your progress, and a gallon of water a day, 75 days straight. And if you miss a day doing any of those things, you have to start over. And I mean, we ain't take it that far.
Well, I ain't
but I have so he's doing the full version. My version is a little different. I was like, I'm not working out twice a day every day. I'm just not going to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it. So I kind of modified it slightly. And so why is that TV so loud?
Because that's your daughters.
But they're going to sleep. It should be lower.
I'll go check on.
I committed to working out
every day.
once a day. But for most of the week, I've been working out twice a day because I've been with him. But I've committed to working out once a day for 45 minutes. I've committed to following the diet, reading the book, and the gallon of water. I've committed to that as well. But I'm not going to take a picture every single day. I'm only going to take a picture every week. So I'm going to weigh in and take a progress photo every week. And my day is Friday morning. So tomorrow will be my second progress photo. I kind of snuck down on a scale today just to see where I was, and I was down almost 5 pounds. So it's definitely working. I mean, it has to work. As much as we've been working out, it has to work, right? I've been walking and running slash walking like 4 to 5 miles a day, and so it has been a lot. It's been very rough. I've been tired, and we're only on day 11. So there's still a long, long road ahead of us. But it's been fun. It's been fun. I think it's been cool to do it together because we can kind of talk about how we're feeling and do some of the workouts together and push each other and stuff. But it's been rough. Any of y'all ever done 75 hard? I would love to know, because when I said I was doing it on my Instagram stories, I got several DMs, and y'all was like, well, some people were like, oh my God, I did that, or I tried to do that and it was great. So let me, if any of y'all try 75 hard, we need a little bit of motivation here. Some words of advice from somebody who's gone through it. Are you done?
I'm almost. I'm coming. Sorry. It's talking about it didn't upload.
But yeah, so we've been doing that and just been like, at least I've been pretty tired, and my ankle was hurting today too.
Your ankle always hurts.
So
you walking like an old lady every night.
It was really hurting today though. When we got back from that run, it was really hurting today. So that's what we've been up to the last 2 weeks. Starting that, and Easter. Spent Easter with family.
Easter was
so that
good.
was nice.
Hung out with them. Both families. My mother came over, so it's pretty cool. Cool Sunday, cool vibes.
It was hot here.
It is. I thought I was okay. So I'm not tripping.
Sweating.
So I'm not tripping.
It was hot in here. But yeah, so that's what we've been up to. I think the biggest thing has just been trying to get through the 75 hard.
I guess I can talk about. So I'm doing the whole version, and she said she wasn't sore, but about last Friday, I was like super, super tight. I brought my gun out to massage my thighs. But I finally feel like I broke through the barrier. Like my legs don't hurt. I feel like every day I was working some form of legs. But now my legs don't hurt. I feel like I'm catching my stride. I'm close. We are on to day 12, right?
Tomorrow is day 12.
Day 12. So finally hit double digits. It doesn't feel like oh, we just getting started. Now I feel like we into it. We are rolling. Feel good. Feel like the end of April going into May will be probably the next big point. I feel like it's gonna be like all right, well, we did it, because at that point we'll be in about 20 or some odd days at that point. So it's gonna kind of be like, all right, we accomplished, because we were just talking about this when we was on our walk yesterday, where we didn't try to do 75 hard, but we were trying to get like consistently stay on our fitness shit last year around this time. And then she had
it was November. It was around Thanksgiving.
Okay, yeah. And she had dental surgery, and we had hit the 9-day mark, and we fell off the wagon.
That was it.
It was like, all right. So now, and that was at that point. It was before that I had really decided, because at that point we was doing an abbreviated version of 75 hard, even though he says if you're not doing 75 hard, you're not doing 75 hard.
Kiss my ass.
But so I had said I want to do the real 75 hard, and that's what I'm doing. So what book you reading?
Right now, I'm reading a book called Steal Like an Artist. I'm on my second book. In 12 days, I'm on my second book.
Yeah, she be killing it.
So
I do the minimum 10 pages that I need to do. I'm reading.
I get into a good book, I can't stop. I just be like, let's keep going. And I'm probably, well, not probably, tomorrow. I probably could have finished it tonight, but tomorrow I'll be done with my second book. And I'll be on to a third book. So
I am reading. What's it called? Be a Millionaire, or
in a year or something.
Yeah, Be a Millionaire next year.
Yeah.
So good book, self-help book, financial literacy, getting some good gems out of that. I'm about probably a little over halfway through with that book. So yeah, getting the water intake. I feel like that's another thing that I've figured out is mastering the water, like getting it done, like getting. We try to drink 6 of these and like a little bit over like 6 and like a half bottles of this to get it. So trying to get those down. I say for me, I'm trying to get my water in at least 5 bottles by like 6 o'clock. About 5 o'clock, before 5 o'clock.
That helps you not have to pee all night.
Yeah.
If you wait until now, like I'm doing, to get the rest, like to get your water in, you got to get up to pee in the middle of the night, and it sucks. It sucks.
So finding that stride, I feel like I've mastered that. Like I feel like I feel like I'm drinking like I used to have to force myself to drink water. Like when I first started this, I was like drinking Crystal Light as a mixture to offset like the water. Like I was drinking half water or Crystal Light and half water. Now I'm chugging.
I feel like you get tired of that shit after a while too. That Crystal Light though too, and I just be like, I just drink the water. Like,
I've just been chugging the water now. So good stuff. Good stuff. If you guys got any books recommendations, let us know on the side. Something that we can pick up. Something that maybe you reading or you taking in that we can pick up while we going through this. Still got a while to go through. So
yeah, because I'm gonna roll through my books. Like I'm gonna roll through my books. I know I am. But yeah, that's what we've really been up to.
I feel like that's the only thing I wear is my Asics and my blazers to work out. I feel like I go from one workout shoe to another workout.
That's all we've been doing. That's what I told him. I was like, I'm gonna spend the next 75 days in sweats because like so I've been going to my gym in the morning. I've been going to Orange Theory first thing in the morning. And then I'll come home and depending on what we're doing, I'll shower and then go work out with him, and we'll just go for a walk so I don't really have to shower again. Or like today, we went on like a 3-mile little run walk, so I didn't shower after Orange Theory. Excuse me, that was disgusting. I sat there and did some like work, some work, and then we went back out on a 3-mile run.
Yeah, made her run now. Like, I don't want to walk every day. Like we did it for the first like 10 days. I'm like, we got to get some I need to get some more intense cardio going here. So I know you run at Orange Theory, but we're going to have to pick up the tempo a little bit. So we just did a little run walk. We usually been doing like 2.25 to 2.5 miles today. With the run, we was able to stretch it out to a little over 3 miles today. So, which was good.
It's been good. It's been really good. Now,
thirsty to talk about this.
Did you contact the principal?
I sent him an email this morning.
You can start. You can tell the story.
So, all right. Yesterday, in the morning, I got an email from Mari's math teacher. And they are doing like, I don't know if y'all got proficiency tests where y'all is in the different states, what they call it. But it's like state standardized testing. And they started this. And his class, they did their testing on Tuesday. So the math teacher wanted to reward the class for all the hard work that they did. And she wanted to play a movie called Hidden Figures. I don't know if y'all seen the movie Hidden Figures. It's a really good movie. It's about 3 black women, historical black women, who like basically helped stop the Cold War and help NASA launch the first space mission. Really good movie. But anyway, so she sent this email out letting parents know that today, which was yesterday when she sent the email, today, that the kids will be watching this movie as her basically like a treat for the kids. And it also like has something to do with math, because obviously those women are very smart when it came to numbers and stuff to be able to do what they did. And it was kind of like going to be a treat for the kids to watch a movie. And she was just letting the parents know like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. If you don't want your kid to watch this movie, let me know. And I will send them off to like a study hall for them to study during the class. That was at about 10 o'clock in the morning when she sent this email. Then about 7:30 last night, I got an email from her, and it was saying that they were not going to be playing the movie as a response to her email that she got so much basically flack or bad, I won't say bad response to her playing that movie, that she is not going to be playing the movie now, and that they would just be having a free day, which was very concerning for me. So I actually emailed her back.
Now, why y'all think she got bad responses for that movie? Why do y'all think she got a bad response to playing Hidden Figures in a math class?
Yeah. So I emailed her, and she was just as upset and distraught as I was. I basically expressed to her that I didn't understand what the pushback was. I thought the movie was very well. It's a very good movie. It was a very well directed and produced movie, and it shed a lot of light on not just Black women, but not on just Black people, but women and stuff that they done for the country. And she was just as upset, and basically was like, Mr. Bradley, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, this is the position I'm in. It's not really much I can do because I don't want any drawback. But I am just as distraught and upset as you are. So it was very concerning. I contacted the principal this morning because I wanted to get a sit down with him, just to kind of discuss this. So it was pretty. I don't know. It's pretty messed up.
And y'all know we live in the suburbs, and so the schools are majority non-Black. So I feel like with all this like critical race theory stuff going around, that probably has something to do with it. But it's just like, I feel like it goes one way though, because the entirety of our history is critical race theory, just going the other way. So I feel like it only goes one way. I don't know. It's very weird. And for you to say you cannot play a movie about history. Like I'm so confused by that. And I would also wonder,
it's not that she can't, but she just chose not to because of the response that she got to saying she was gonna play the movie.
I don't even know why she had to tell him she was playing a movie. You come into class, ain't like it's a rated R movie, and she's like, I'm playing this for schooling purposes. It's a rated PG movie with 14-year-olds. This is what we did in class today. I don't remember my parents ever getting notes. I remember when we went to we playing a movie tomorrow.
I remember our school when I was in the 6th grade, 7th grade. They took us to go see, what movie was that about? It wasn't Roots. I can't remember what it was, but it was a racially motive. It was a movie about slaves and stuff, and we had to get a permission slip signed to go see it because it was.
Well, that's pretty heavy. Was going somewhere.
Yeah, because it was. No, I'm just saying because it was also a pretty heavy movie. It was an R-rated movie because of the obviously slaves being naked and getting whipped, and it was. But regardless, I was still like something completely different from this. I feel like critical race theory is so much bullshit to me because so the grandparents don't want their grandkids to know all the bad shit they did to Black people back in the day. So now they are against history being taught, which is blasphemy to me. I think that's so crazy.
Because we've been hearing about history our whole lives. We've been hearing about, well, I mean, to be honest though, no, we haven't. Yeah, they haven't really none of the history.
You had to take really Black history.
Talks about slave.
Yeah, you had to take Black history
the
to know about that
trade
stuff.
like it should and all of that. So honestly, we haven't been hearing about history our whole lives. We've also heard about Christopher Columbus and how he was such a great man, and George Washington. So we actually haven't been hearing. We've been hearing the version of history that they want us to hear for ever. We actually haven't been hearing the real history the entire time. So it makes perfect sense in some people's minds, but it was just like, I don't know. I was like, I'd have to wonder if they send home or they email about every single movie that's watched in the school. Like, do you email? So if they were playing hey, say they were playing like Pocahontas or something.
You stuck on this Pocahontas?
Pocahontas was, I mean, they was trying to kill the Native Americans.
And that was a
the white man was trying to kill the Native Americans. So it's kind of like, so what if would they have sent something home if they were playing that movie?
Keep on saying that, but I was asking him, they ain't playing any movies.
Okay, maybe in his classes, but what about other classes?
I don't know.
Just because, but that would be my question. So is that your policy that you send something home for every movie?
I think she sent that home because it's a math class. It's not like a lead. It's not like you don't typically.
If it's part of your lesson plan, I don't have to tell. Like, as long as it's within the scope of the lesson, I don't have to tell you every time I deviate from that. We not just sitting here on. I
feel like you're attacking the teacher when it's not nothing. I feel like it's nothing against the teacher.
I'm not attacking the teacher at all. I'm attacking It's just the whole thing. Like this, I don't know.
I think the point of emphasis here is not so much the teacher or even the school. It's the parents that was against the movie being watched. That's where I think the real issue lies. Not so much the teacher or the parent or even the school. Like I said, I think the issue is the parents in which the neighborhood in which we live in don't want their kids to learn about that type of stuff. I think that's the issue.
Yes, I do think that's the issue, and that's going to always be there. But the school should be a neutral place in my mind. So the school, as long as it's within the scope of a lesson, and they can prove that it's within the scope of the lesson, they should be able to teach the kids how they want to. Like, that's how kids learn. Kids don't just learn from sitting and watching the teacher talk to them or watching the teacher write on the chalkboard. They learn from different things. They're inspired by different things. We did so many, like there's different elements of teaching. And so do I have to tell the parents every time I want to change up, me just standing in front of the classroom pointing at the chalkboard?
I don't know, but disturbing nonetheless. And like I said, really, like, to me, like I said, not so much the teacher in the school. To me, was an eye opener, which is not so much that I needed that because I already kind of knew it, but the neighborhood and the community in which we live in, and to get that kind of response for something like that, to me, is very telling.
I mean, there's Trump flags all around here, so.
You be saying that too. I don't think just because you're a Trump supporter mean you're a bad person either, though.
I didn't say he was a bad person.
But you saying, like, just because you Trump don't mean that you're racist either, though.
I guarantee you, some of those people who voted against that movie, they probably people in this very development that we talk to every day that would never say that they racist or think that they racist. It be them same people, because I'm saying that don't mean you're a bad person because you're a Trump supporter. No, it don't. But we all know what he represents or what he represented. We all know the stuff. We all know the stuff that he pushed.
Like I said, I mean, we know some of the bad narratives that he come across, but there are also people I know who voted for Trump because of the tax laws that he passed and that he was for, and some of the economical things that he was bringing to the table. Like, I mean, it's all like, all I'm saying is I don't think all Trump supporters
think so either.
Yeah, or racist is what I'm trying to say.
I don't think so either. There were Black Trump supporters. I absolutely do not either. But I do think there's a nice little correlation there. I'm not gonna lie, and not even race. You know what? I feel like everyone has this idea of racism that there is a white man under a hood, and that's race. That those are the people that are racist. Like, not my neighbor or not the other parents that I see at the PTA meeting. Oh, they can't be racist because they talk to me. And I think some of the time I think most of the time, I'll even say, I don't think people realize that they have those unconscious biases. Or they realize it and they just never done anything about it. But I don't think people realize that they even have the bias. It's like, oh, I'm not racist. I'm not I don't know.
curious to know why people are so uncomfortable with raw, unfiltered Black history because
it's not even Black history though. That's like his history.
Well, that's Black history too, though. I mean,
it's both, but Black history. But we say also Black history is American history.
It is, but you can't. There's a correlate.
If they helped, if they were the ones behind, NASA getting to space,
but nobody.
That's history.
But that's the thing. It's Black history because before the movie Hidden Figures, I had no idea that those women had anything to do with that program.
Exactly, which means that just means that they ain't been telling the whole story. That don't mean it's Black history. That just means they ain't told the story.
No, sir.
I mean, and it is Black history. Good night. And it is Black history, but because we call it Black history.
But I don't even think that's what she just said. I wonder why people are so uncomfortable with raw Black history. I think to answer that question, I think that goes to is to acknowledge that stuff would mean you have to acknowledge that majority of the country, grandparents and great grandparents were really bad people. Really, and that's why I think it's so uncomfortable for people. Like they would have to acknowledge that their grandparents and their great grandparents and their great great grandparents were really mean people to people for no other reason because of what color their skin was. Like
color and gender.
Yeah. That's why I think it's so uncomfortable for people to talk about because it's like, because one, they get painted in this corner. And I think I've had this conversation with a couple of white people and they get kind of painted in this corner where it's kind of like, well, are you calling me a racist? And I'm not per se I'm not calling you a racist, but if you don't understand the social economics in which you are in the position you're in and why it's harder for
or even try to understand,
right, then you're a part of the problem. That's the thing. You get some white people like, well, I'm just like you. I don't have any money. That's cool, but we still not on the same level.
Because you wasted your privilege. Don't get mad at me. No, let me quit. No, it was, I don't know. That was very triggering when that happened.
I was very upset for a while about that.
That was pretty triggering yesterday. It just, we have, like, I mean, we've talked about this before, our neighborhood is majority white. And so, the majority of our neighbors are white. We actually have a nice little mix in this little one development, but the majority of the people who live over here are white. And so we see them every day. We speak to them. They speak to us. Everyone's, pretty nice. And everyone's
typical neighbor. You mind your business. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
But they'll come over and have conversations, like a couple of that always walk in. They come over and have conversations.
I don't know if they white across the street. No, I know the lady is. I don't know.
They is white.
The dude don't look. He look like he might be mixed or something.
But so they'll talk. They'll have they'll have conversations. We'll have conversations with them. But I also think that. I tell him all the time, I feel like classism is the new racism. Not that color racism is gone, but I feel like classism is like it helps in people's minds separate the good black people from the good from the bad black people. Like, oh, these people have, I guess, or I think these people have a little money. They live in my neighborhood. They must be the good black people.
They're doing something for themselves.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. I don't have to worry about them or.
Yeah. But the people there's the people who live in the projects. Oh, they must be up to no good. They must be, they're lazy. They must not have done anything for themselves. And it's like, it's stuff like that. And I feel like it's almost intersecting. Like I said, there's a difference with how people treat you based on, what you have or how much power they think you have or money they think you have or whatever.
It's a quote that I love. And it says, people ask you what you do for a living so they can determine how much respect they're going to give you when they meet you. Like it, what I'm saying? That's, which I think is a very telling. I love that quote because it is. I feel like if you tell somebody, oh, I don't know. I don't know. But I think that's a very telling quote.
Which the funny thing is, you can't tell nothing about what what people do, what people do as far as how much money they have. You can't even put that together, because if somebody would have told you 15 years ago, oh, I sit in front of my camera, I sit and talk to my camera and put videos out on the internet, and I make a living. Like, clearly we all know there's people who make pretty nice livings off of social media, nicer than all of us, right? So I mean, if you'd have told people 15 years ago, I'm an aspiring YouTuber, or I'm a YouTuber or whatever, they'd be like, the fuck? Like, and they would have looked at you like you were crazy. And now those people can buy our houses and everything times two. You know what I'm saying? So that don't even make sense. And the more I keep reading stuff, and I'm reading about becoming a millionaire, when you think of somebody, like, when in your mind the word millionaire, and you're like, oh, that person's a millionaire, you feel like it's somebody with some sort of luxury car and this huge mansion and all of these things, when the average janitor could be walking around with a millionaire if they invested well. So it's, yeah, that always gets to me too.
So the undercover racists to me are the worst. Show me your evil ways up front, please and thank you. I think that's why, to an extent, I mean, being real, that's why I not respect Trump. But Trump ain't never hid his agenda. He is out. He might lie about what he said, even though he just said something else 2 minutes ago. But he gonna tell you up front exactly what he thinking and how he feel about it. He pretty out there, like. But yeah, like you said, I
think that's why people liked him, and they were able to say, and they were able to be like, oh my God, we can support this guy. He can push our agenda. Like,
that's what I'm saying. But I mean, he gave, even though I per se I don't know. I got mixed feelings about Trump, but he made closet racists comfortable, and who were just looking for a nudge, more comfortable enough to step out of the closet and be out there. But I'm definitely rather you tell me exactly how you feel than me to be thinking we cool and you behind my back you talk about black people or people of color, any color, and you feel some kind of way about them. Like, yeah, I'd rather know your true feelings up front. Than
funny thing is, that's with anything, though.
Yeah,
that's with your so-called friends. That's with anything. I'd rather you tell me you hate me right to my face, rather than be up in my face smiling. And then,
well, that's what they say. I mean, murder and rape are, I think it was something like only 15%. 15 was like 15% of murders, 15 to 20% of murders, and only like 10% of rapes happen with people that you don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I feel like I was jogging in a park, and I'm saying this don't happen, because it does, but I feel like I was jogging in a park and was just grabbed and raped on the ground. I feel like when you hear rape, like that's what that's what comes.
I think
to
that's
your
what
mind.
You used to think about.
Well, yeah. That's what I feel like. That's what comes to some people's minds. Like, when they hear the word rape, it's me jogging or walking somewhere by myself at night, and I get pulled into a dark alley and raped or something like that. But
in actuality, is the guy you've been talking to for 3 or 4 weeks. You invite him over, and
why you say that?
What?
Oh, I thought you was going to talk about For Color Girls.
Oh no, I wasn't even thinking. I was more actually thinking about Trey Songz. I wasn't actually thinking about. But I was actually thinking about Trey Songz. But I wasn't. But not that too. But I'm just saying, or like situations like that, or maybe the friend who been trying to get with you, have a few drinks and he, take advantage of. That's more so real rape than.
It's not more real rape, but
I'm just saying more real. Often. Like, that's the type of rape that happens in actuality, as opposed to I was just walking down the street and somebody grabbed me and threw me in the bushes or something.
Yeah.
Same thing with murder. Like, most murder is, I think it was something crazy like I think this was like a few months ago. I was reading, so something like 40% of murders is like out of like relationship murders. Like most murders happen within.
Anybody going to jail for somebody they don't know? If I'm going to jail, you done offended me. I knew you, and you done offended me. And now we both gotta go. That's what happens. Anybody going to jail for some stranger? At least I wouldn't. I mean, I ain't going to jail for somebody I know, but I'm just saying, if that was me, I ain't going to jail for no stranger. Like, I'm making it worth it.
I agree with the quote Mark said. I felt like at working in a call center, people talk to me on the phone like I was stupid. Yeah, I definitely feel like that. Like the way I treat people is every day. It's like I treat everybody the same way. I don't care what you do. Like when I talk to a waitress at a restaurant the same way I talk to a doctor at my local physician or my tax prep person or my lawyer. Like you're gonna get kindness should be everybody. Like I've never cussed I've never cussed out anybody on the phone. I don't cuss people out on. Now I do get irritated if you ain't answering my question. You need to pass me to somebody who's gonna actually answer my question. But I just feel like kindness is it's so easy to be kind. Why be mean?
I feel like I'd be overly thankful or saying thank you or whatever the case. And I feel like because service workers they get beat up on a daily. And I've been a retail worker. I've been a waitress. I've been in a call center. So like they get beat up on a daily, and it is such a thankless job. And
unless you AT&T, unless you work for AT&T, then we got an issue. But that's a whole nother that's a whole nother thing.
But yeah, I've been that person who worked at a fast food restaurant, who worked at as a waitress, who worked in retail, and it's terrible.
As somebody who used to be a GM of a car dealership, I would tell you this: you were a lot more likely to get me to do something nice for you if you came in and talked with some sense than you trying to come in there and cuss me out or act crazy. Because if you come in there acting crazy, I'm gonna stare you right in your face and be like, "Ma'am, sir, I'm sorry,
like,
nothing I can do."
That's what people used to be like. I mean, you know what? I'll sit here all day until you answer my question. Man, we close at 8. I'm here till then. I mean, you're welcome to do so. I don't know what to tell you.
I remember I had this lady on the phone. She was cussing me out. She went from cussing me out to crying, cussing me out to crying, cussing me out to crying, and the threatening to come and drive her car through the front of the building because I wouldn't give her a free rental car while her car was being worked on. And this was after her cussing me out. And I was like, all right. And she just was like, sit there and I was all kind of B's and N's and H words and everything you can call in the book.
Oh, I hang up. See, I was good for hanging up on customers too. I don't have to sit here and let you cuss at me. I think that's the misconception too.
Oh yeah, no, that's
like you just gotta sit there. And I would say I was good for being like, when you calm down, feel free to call me back, but I'm not gonna sit here while you be disrespectful, and I'll hang up in a heartbeat.
So it was funny because she came up there and she talked to me. She apologized and talked to me like she had some sense. And I was like, hey, you know what? This is what I can do for you. Now we can have that conversation. You got some sense. Now let's have this conversation. What's the old saying? You can get a lot more bees with honey than you can with shit. Like, just need to talk to me with some sense. Like,
customer service jobs are rough.
Which is so funny to me because that you cuss out people like call center people or
especially people making your food.
Like, oh yeah, I don't like, for one, like that too, but that's even more crazy. But like, I don't own this place, sir, man. Yeah. What's that one we was watching a meme and the lady was like, it was like a video. It was like, and he was cussing him out. He was like, sir, I make $15 an hour.
Sir, I make $19 an hour. And he was like, so what did you tell me that for? And he's like, I heard you getting loud, and I just wanted to let you know I make $19 an hour. I don't know what's going on.
I do not own this place, so I can answer your questions as best needed, but you need to calm down.
So funny. Yeah, that's people be. I don't understand. I really don't understand people's issues with that. And people always say, "Oh, you never know what we never know what somebody's going through."
Very true.
But they don't know what I'm going through either.
True.
So
Kindness is it costs nothing to be kind. So it costs you nothing to be kind. So why not be anything but kind?
I just fuck with people. I hate when people say that you don't know what people going through, because it's like, no, you don't know what people are going through. But the same way, like I just said, the same way, I don't know what you're going through. You don't know what I'm going through. Like you can't put your problems on other people. Like, and I get it. We're
Oh, you
humans.
talking about because if they calling you out, cussing you out?
Yeah,
Oh.
I was like, and like maybe that lady was cussing you out about her car because maybe she missed her court appointment to get her kids back or something. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. So maybe that was why she was so upset. You don't know. But at the same time, your problem, you can't put your problems on me.
Right.
Like, I understand people go through things and I have empathy. But you can't put your fucking problems on me.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Trump flags to me are like a Confederate flag.
No, they really are. First of all, I side-eye people with Trump flags because I feel like you just looking for me to say something. Like, are you looking for people to say something? Like, why do you have that on your car? For what? First of all, if you still got a Trump flag on your car in 2022, you just trying to pick. Trying to pick with people.
All these people got these 2024 Trump flags now, and it's just like, okay.
Biden ain't even through year one. Like, I feel like you trying to pick with people if you are like if that's what you're doing. That's what irritates me so much about that. It feels very confrontational.
Oh, it is.
And I like it just does. Like I had an Obama t-shirt. I had Obama things, but I had Obama things because we don't get black presidents. Right. So when we get one, we had to be celebratory for those 8 years. Now, after that, I have never and probably will never, unless there is a woman that I support, or probably another black man, maybe, you will never see me with a president's flag. And not that it's bad, but it just felt very it feels very confrontational.
Like, I feel like the old saying, religion and politics should not be discussed. Like, who you affiliate yourself with, you vote. That's why they put you in a booth when you vote. Nobody like your wife. If you don't tell your wife or your significant other or your mama who you voted for, nobody got to know who you voted for. I don't need to know who you voted for. If you support Trump, then all power to you. Go to the office, submit your ballot, and go on about your day.
See, I feel different. Like, I don't mind having the discussion.
I feel like it's too much.
It just feel like I said, the Trump flags just feel very confrontational. Like, for what do you have? Why have you had a Trump flag hanging in your yard for the past 2 years when Trump ain't been president since 2020?
No, even if he was still the president, why do I need to know your political affiliation?
If you know what, when he was the president, if you wanted to have a Trump sign or flag, though? I had an Obama, and I know why I did it, but like, people like to make excuses and say, well, y'all had Obama stuff. Okay, so if you wanted to have that Trump flag while he was the president and everything, okay, all right, do you? But he gone now. So what is your end goal? Like, what's your game plan now?
I don't. Unless, like,
it don't make sense.
If you look through the history books, there's been 50 some odd white presidents. Every president been white. So, like, wasn't no Reagan flag, wasn't no Clinton flags, wasn't no Bush flags.
And they all did the same thing. Absolutely nothing. They did stuff. I feel like I don't know. You will never see me that hype on
anything. Like, like I said, to me, I go cast my ballot. That's just me. We feel differently. I don't feel like if she didn't tell me who she voted, me and her, we've had our difference of opinions with people. When it come to voting for certain people, a certain female who ran for president a few years ago, I did not want to cast my ballot for, but I did. But I mean, I feel like, but at the same time, like I said, if I didn't tell her what I voted for, like, it's none of her business. That's, to me, that's just how I feel. Like, it's none of nobody's business who you voted for.
I'm more of like the open book type person. Like,
I feel like that's just lead to arguments.
I'll tell you. I don't care. I'll tell you.
Well, I might tell, but I guess I feel like that's the quickest way to lead into an argument is talking about politics. That's the quickest way to get into an argument with somebody is to talk about politics.
When who was before Obama? Who was trying
Bush,
but who was going against Bush? Like Al Gore.
Gore.
And so in 2004, when like they had their vote or die campaign or whatever, and like people were endorsing Al Gore.
Well, you're posting. That's the thing when you running
the election.
When somebody's running, that's what you're supposed to do. You get you back to my. But then when the race is over, it's over.
Well, that's what I said. They got Trump flags still.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying even when they win, when you didn't see people with George Bush signs in their office when they won. Like Bush won. Okay, now you put your sign or your stake in your front yard, letting people know like, hey, support Bush or whatever. And the election is over. You take that stake up and you go on. We all a community again. This is our president. We go behind this person.
Yeah, I thought Bush was bad.
Customer service jobs are rough. People treat you like scum of the earth, no matter how nice you are.
They do. I've seen it happen. I have seen it happen.
Which to me is just like, I don't understand. I've never understood like cussing people out. My mom was always the cuss people out. CC gets stuff done. She don't per se cuss anybody out. She gets stuff done a little bit better than I do. But I'm just like, I just want as long as you answer my questions, I don't have no problems. It's not my fault that you didn't pay your bill for the past 3 months and your lights got cut off. That's your fault. That's not a me issue. That's the you issue.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't be having patience. I don't have patience for it.
I'll call places and I'm extra nice because I've been on the other end of the suck, and it sucks. Yeah,
it does. And I be the same way. Like I'm always really nice to the waitress, unless they got an attitude. Then I'm like, okay, you all right? But
CC quick to be like, we go somewhere and somebody giving us shitty service or not coming, they giving us attitude and they ain't checking us. Because I'm standard 15%. CC like, yeah, she don't deserve 15%.
Not if you no. Like it's one thing to like if the food came out slow, that ain't her fault. Like I ain't about to if the food is nasty or came out slow, that ain't got nothing to do with the waitress. I'm still gonna pay the waitress if the service was good. But you control your service. Like you control your service and you know that you're getting paid based off of your service. So if you don't care, why in the hell do I care? Because I quick to ask somebody, are you okay? Everything all right? Okay.
I will hang up on the customer.
Came off a little snippy.
I will hang up on the customer in a minute. I've had to tell folks the same thing. When you're ready to have an adult conversations, let me know. I don't do tantrums. Customers are funny sometimes. Yes.
Yeah, I've done it a million times. I was the queen of that. My manager used to be okay now because I was the queen of that. You're not about to talk to me the kind of way.
I remember the funniest story I had. I'm a pretty big dude. I remember I had this dude who called me on the phone. He was cussing me out. He told me he was going to come and kick my ass. And I was like, all right, well, I'm here till 7:00, sir. And I hung up the phone. And he came up, walked in the door. He's like, I'm here to see Mark. He was talking to my dude, Mike. I was like, oh, hold on, let me go see. And I come walking out the office. He's like, you Mark? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, hey, man, how you doing? I called you earlier, I was a little disrespectful. I'm just trying to see what's going on.
With my ass.
Yeah. So people are funny. Like that's like the internet thugs and over the phone. Like you talking all this tough talk over the phone over a bill or something. Like, dude, like I'm here let me get my 8 hours in and go home. That's all I'm here to get my 8 hours in and go home.
So I get paid. I get paid regardless, man. I don't know what to tell you. Whether you get your question answered or not, they're gonna pay me for this hour. So I mean, how this goes is up to you.
Me talking to you is one less person I gotta talk to on the phone. So you want to keep this going. I feel like those fags are meant to attack. They are meant to make people feel some type of way.
They definitely are. And the same way, y'all ever feel like that too about like the actual American flag? I feel like that about the American flag. Like it's always on the back of somebody's ugly ass pickup truck. And I feel like that is.
I can't say that because I know people who served who ride around with the flag on the back of their truck or car.
Why is it always on the back of somebody's ugly, rusted ass pickup truck?
Because I've seen that on the back of people. Like I've seen, like LaRon used to ride around with the flags in the back of his car, like with the roll-up windows in the back of his car.
The American, it literally makes me like nervous. Like if I were to go somewhere and see cars with like American flags on them, and it's like a bunch of the part, I'd be like, I don't know if I should be here. Like that's which is a problem. And people, when you say stuff like that, people, why do you think that? Why do you think I feel like that? Like, I feel like, and I'm not the only one that feels that way.
I feel you on that.
Like, I feel like the fact that the country that I was born, my mama, my grandma, my great grand, like the fact that the country that we were born in helped build, pay taxes, like, you know, like the fact that this same country, the only country that we know, the flag goes up on somebody's car and you're automatically like on guard. That's a problem.
Well, it's not
like
even,
that's a
but let's
problem.
just talk about the real comment. You ain't talking if it ain't anybody car, because I think if you've seen like 6 or 7 black people in the parking lot with that on the back of their car, you move. It's when it's white people
we don't put that shit on our car
on the back of
their.
What I'm saying, you talking about white guys in pickup trucks. That's or big trucks is what makes you uncomfortable when you see that type of activity.
But that's what the fact that like the fact that it is so problematic that symbol of, again, the only country that the last 3, 4, 5 generations of my family, the only country that we've ever known, the fact that seeing the flag, it's like seeing the flag is a symbol of like it puts you on guard. That's a problem. Like that's somebody should evaluate that and say, hey, why is that?
Well, it is being evaluated. It's just, again, it's another thing which I love DL Hughley for. He always talks about this. The number one form of terrorists in the United States is the white male. It's like, it's not Al Qaeda, it's not gangs, it's not people shoot them. It's the white male are the number one terrorists in the United States.
Like it's crazy. Like I think about that shit and I'd be like, I don't know. My country flag should not put me on edge like that, but it does, and it's not just me. It's like clearly there's a problem there. Clearly.
Yeah, people who serve are one thing, but you know the ones who put the flag on there to send a message. Yeah.
Yep. And I see, it's funny because I'll like drive behind somebody and I see people's like bumper stickers now. You know, they got the Trump bumper stickers and you just be like, oh, okay. Like it just makes you feel the type of way. Like
they don't try to hide it, which is, I mean, those people I respect those people. At least they ain't trying to hide it, like you said. They ain't not trying to hide it.
But this is why I say I don't know if I can call people. Oh, you said the same thing. The same folks have Trump 2024 bumper stickers. Yeah. But this is why I say sometimes I don't think people. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like when you say, oh, they're not trying to hide it. No, they're not trying to hide it. But again, those are those same like parents that's at the PTA meeting or those people. They are.
I feel like the ones at the PTA meetings that you talking about are trying to hide it. They hide it. They don't want it to be known that they like that because they don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable.
I don't think so, because I think there's people that are like, oh, you know, it's just me voting. But then when you talk about I used to say that all the time, like, okay, well maybe you're not a racist, but and then it's like, oh, but you made it very clear that that's not a deal breaker for you.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? So maybe you're like, oh, I'm fine with, the good black people.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them. That's cool. But you made it very clear that that's not a line drawn in the sand for you. Like if somebody were to come to me and be like I'm not going to support somebody who I hear say, and I don't even have. Do I have any Latino friends? I don't even think I have any Latino friends. But I'm not gonna support somebody who I hear say or are like blatantly disrespect. Like I've watched them be blatantly disrespectful to Latinos. I'm not gonna let me see that. I'm not gonna outwardly support that person, and I don't think anyone who supports that person is a bad person. But so say it maybe I did vote for them because I have a business and they give tax breaks or I'm a millionaire or something like that. That don't mean I gotta agree with everything they do. Right. So I don't think people who support Trump have to agree with everything they do. But at the same time, I also am educated enough to know, some of the messages that he sends out. So I'm not going to put that bumper sticker on my car to make other people feel uncomfortable or put a flag in front of my house unless I want the smoke.
This is the thing. I didn't want to get too deep on politics because I'm not going to get too deep. But all these politicians ain't none of them.
No, they're not
good.
They're not
people. So
they're not.
So
I agree. That's why I ain't gonna put nobody bumper sticker on my car.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like to get into like, that's why I think that politics should be kept what they are. Like you vote, you going about your business, and that's how I look at voting. I don't pledge allegiance to any public official. Like I think they all to an extent corrupt and out for themselves. So
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Like I said, I feel like when you putting that up, you saying you want the smoke.
Yeah, I definitely think you're looking for an argument. You're looking for a confrontation.
You want the smoke. You want me to say something about it. Because again, I'm not.
But I'm not triggered. I'm not going to let you. You got to be old enough to be like not triggered by that stuff.
Of course. But even if, like I said, say I was to be like, oh, I'm a millionaire. Trump's the best. He's the best person for me and my money. Right. So that's who I'm gonna vote for. But I'm not gonna put the flag up because I also know exactly what he represents.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'm not going out there trying to make people uncomfortable. I just want to do what's best for me.
That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about though. I feel like that's when I say that everybody who voted for Trump ain't per se a bad person, because they also at the same time they also ain't out here.
I said that and I agree with that.
They're not out here attesting like, oh, I voted for Trump. They're not talking about it. They went and cast their ballot and they went home. I
agree with that. The way this world works, you gotta obviously have regard for other people, but at the same time, you also gotta keep yourself and your family close and your businesses close and your money close. The way this world works, like you gotta do what's best for you and your family. And if that's getting tax breaks from Trump, then that's getting tax breaks from Trump. It ain't nothing wrong with that. So, but again, you ain't got to argue with people about it or try to start arguments about it.
It's funny because it was like I remember this little lady when I was at Giant Eagle. It's like last year, and I was bagging up. I was like grabbing my cart. And like almost bumped into this car that had a Trump 24 sticker on it, and she was like, I would have just. She's like, I thought you was gonna ram your cart into the back of that car because that's what I would have did. I was just cracking up because that's the thing. Like all white people don't support Trump. Some of them think he's the most disgusting, vile man ever.
Well, all black people don't support whoever we support.
So.
Who do we support? I feel like black people I feel like the majority of black people are Democrats, but I feel like I feel like the majority of like baby boomer black people are Democrats. And then I feel like Gen Xers, probably the majority of them are Democrats, but I feel like more of them have started looking outside and said,
well, I always said, we're getting too deep in politics, but I always said the year that Trump won the Republican ballot, I was actually I thought Ted Cruz was going to win, and that's what I was planning on voting for was Ted Cruz. So
he was just going to go to Cancun. Left him where he was. He was just going to go to Cancun when the shit got tough. Oh my God. Have y'all watched on Netflix Young, Rich and African? Young, Rich and African? Have y'all watched that? Y'all, they are giving me life. Like it's basically a reality show of filled with Africans instead of Americans, instead of Black Americans, they're Africans, and it's set in Johannesburg, South Africa, and the show is freaking giving me life. It's on Netflix. It's so good, filled with all the drama. I'm like, they didn't went through all the ratchet black people apparently in the US, so now they're moving to Africa. But it's actually a really, really good show. It's good and messy, honey. If you're looking for another show, young, rich and African on Netflix is so good. It's either young, rich and African or young, famous and African, one or the other. So good. And it's like I love watching it because I feel like most people, when you hear Africa in your mind, the first thing you think of is this third world country with people walking around barefoot and all of that. But like this shows, which I'm sure a lot of Africa is like that. Africa is a very poor continent, but
well, it's not. It's one of the most richest in nutrients and everything, and it's one of the only continents that don't need any resources from any other country.
But I think it's people for the most part.
I don't know about that.
I think like Africa's third world, so it's
No,
like
it's not
poor.
third. It's not third world. It's part of. It's
We
country.
consider it
It's
third
countries.
world, don't we?
No.
We don't. I don't believe you.
Africa is not a third world country.
We don't consider Africa third world.
No.
So who's third world?
Like Saudi Arabia.
But it's rich people in Saudi Arabia too.
Right, but like
Is Africa third world? Third world countries included nations in Asia and Africa that were not aligned with either the United States or the Soviet Union.
yeah, there's countries within Africa that might be considered third world countries, but that continent of Africa is not a third world country.
Today, so the term third world was originally coined in times of the Cold War to distinguish those nations that are either aligned with the West, so with NATO, or that were not aligned with NATO or the East, so the communism. Today, the term is often used to describe the developing countries of Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Australia/Oceania.
Yeah, so there's parts of Africa that might be considered third world. Because I was reading something, I can't remember what the country is in Africa, but it's because it was like it's a country in Africa where the year is 2014 right now.
What?
Yeah, look it up. I can't remember what the name it is, but
Where did you hear that from?
It's a thing going on the internet. They never was colonized. They got 13 months in a year, and they never was colonized. Yeah.
I don't know if you know what he's talking about, y'all.
Look it up. Look it up. Y'all heard that before?
Country key takeaways: Ethiopia and Liberia are widely believed to be the only two African countries to have never been colonized. Ethiopia and Liberia, but you don't say nothing about it. It's only 2014.
Let's see.
He just made that up, y'all.
I'm about to look on.
But this is set in Johannesburg, South Africa, and to look at, like, obviously Johannesburg is a big city. Johannesburg is a pretty like advanced city. It looks like some type of US city, you know what I'm saying? So like a US downtown metropolitan area. And that's just not what you think of when you think of Africa for the most part. And so I just love to see these Black people, well, Africans thriving, and it's cool. I mean, it's messy, just like the rest of our ratchet reality shows, but it's really cool to see all of these like Black and brown people just thriving, you know. So
it's Ethiopia.
It is not 2014 in Ethiopia. It's Friday. It's right here. It's Friday, April 22nd in Ethiopia.
Okay, it's 13. Yeah, that's from us. So it's 13 months in It's 13 months on the Ethiopian calendar.
That don't mean it's 2014.
They would be. What do you mean? Every year they would be every year that we went past, they still was in another month. So by the time we added up all the months, they would be behind us.
Is the year 2014 in Ethiopia? Not only the Ethiopian calendar is also 7 years and 8 months behind the Western calendar. That's because it calculates the birth year of Jesus Christ differently. When the Catholic Church amended its calculation in 500 AD, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church did not.
I'm just making stuff. Who just makes that up?
So in 2021, so this came out September 11th, 2021. So whatever day that was, it says Saturday, which whatever the Saturday after September 11th, 2021 was. What does it say? Saturday makes it the start of 2014. So sometime September of 2021 was the start of 2014 in Ethiopia.
So like I said, it's the year 2014, still in Ethiopia right now.
Whatever. Right. Time is also counted differently, with the day divided into two 12-hour slots, starting from 6 o'clock, which would make both midday and midnight 6 o'clock in Ethiopian time. So if someone arranges to meet you in Addis Ababa at 10 o'clock for a cup of coffee, Ethiopia is, after all, the birthplace of the Arabica bean. Don't be surprised if they rock up at 1600 hours, which is 4 o'clock. Yep. Ethiopia.
Apology accepted.
Whatever. I ain't apologizing. Is Ethiopia...
It's a non-colonized country.
But is it how can I say this nicely? Is it an advanced country? Ethiopia is poor, right?
I don't know.
I would assume parts of it is.
I just know it's a non-colonized country. So that just mean that they don't per se live by American or European standards.
Right, yeah. Right.
So
yeah. I said you have to apologize. I'm not
See, it's normal. I'm used to it at this point. I can be right about everything I say, and she's not gonna apologize.
He don't be apologizing to me either.
I always apologize.
No, he don't. Later on, he'll be like I'll say something and I'll be right, and he'll be like, okay, whatever, and then yes, you do, and then we'll be talking about it later on, and I'll be like, see, I told you I was right about that. He'd be like, I said that night, and I'm like, no, you didn't. You all you said was whatever. No, you didn't. You never acknowledged I was right.
That's what you do. You always just say whatever. You never say.
You never.
I always say when you right. I always acknowledge when you right.
And you lie. At least I don't lie about it. Look. At least I don't lie about it.
I acknowledge when you're right.
And he lying to y'all.
I do acknowledge when you're right.
Incorrect.
I'll be like, my bad. I might not say I'm sorry, but like, my bad. I might not be like, oh, I'm sorry, you were right. I might be like, all right, whatever, my bad.
You're right. No,
like,
you don't say my bad.
I do.
He'll be like, whatever. And he'll like walk away, and then we'll be talking about it later. And then he'll be like, oh, he's like, I'll be like, yeah, remember I told you, because like maybe I'll see something that reminds me of it that confirms it again. And I'll be like, I told you. And he'll be like, I already said you was right. And I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Whatever. He knew what he was talking about.
Whatever. Whatever.
I'm just saying. And now I just recently found that out. So it ain't like some revelation that I've been on. I just recently found that out like a month or so ago. And I thought it was very interesting because time is
Time is so
viewed
arbitrary.
right. Time is viewed so like I watched. I'm gonna say this, and we're about to get ready to get off of here. But I was watching this little show. It's called Revealed. I can't remember what it was. Basically talking about how our internal clocks look at things, but yeah, time is like she said, arbitrary. Like,
And we didn't have like jobs in school that started at a certain time. Like if we didn't have that, we wouldn't know. Like it's just kind of like when you're on vacation,
yeah.
and like the 2 weeks, but like between like on Christmas break, those 2 weeks between like that week between Christmas and New Year, I feel like everybody be just saying, well, like, what the fuck day is it? Because you don't be going to work and you don't be doing, you know what I'm saying? You don't be doing nothing. The kids not in school. And literally for those 2 weeks, we're at like sitting at home, just hanging out every day.
Time catch up with you. Be like, oh, damn, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock. Oh,
like
damn.
We're just sitting at home every single day doing nothing. And it's just like, and it's be like, what day is it? Tuesday, Wednesday? Like, what day is it? And it just, yeah.
I mean, that's even like some people, I can't remember what book it was something I was reading too, where it was like, it was, now y'all gonna make me try to figure this out. But it was like a book basically kind of depicting why people in the Bible didn't per se live longer than we did, but the calendar was just different, so that they was living to 200 and 200 years old because the calendar was just different back then as opposed to how it is now. So that the way that
I think they lived a little longer than this.
Well, I'm just saying.
Because we be doing dumb shit.
But what I'm saying is like they just said that the calendar is different and nobody exactly knows what day. That's another thing. Like nobody really knows what day or what year or what time it is. Like nobody knows that. Like it was just kind of
somebody just came up with it one day. Yeah. We're gonna go with 2 o'clock.
So, and the fact that we can play with like daylight saving time, like you play with time, like that's one of the things I like about Phoenix. Phoenix is like the only state in the United States, which they're trying to abolish it throughout all of the states, but that doesn't play with the time, doesn't fall back or doesn't spring forward. Arizona is like the only state that doesn't play with the time.
It's dumb. Just leave it like this.
I don't think it's dumb. I'd like daylight. I think daylight saving time serves a purpose. Well, the original point of daylight saving time was for farmers.
I know that.
Now it's more so.
Just leave it like this, where the days stay longer.
But it don't happen like that in the winter because the suns go down.
The suns still go down earlier, but obviously not an hour earlier. We move time back, so it goes back an hour earlier. It goes down an hour earlier.
No, we get this when we fall back.
If the sun goes down an hour earlier
later,
than it has to.
It go down an hour later because we're losing daylight time now. So when we spring forward, we move the clock back up so we can, because we want to get that time. We want to get that daylight in the front as opposed to in the back. And now they do it be more so for kids at the bus stop, so they ain't standing at the bus stop at 7 o'clock and it's pitch black outside.
You're doing that anyway.
So
out there anyway.
It'd be dark, but it don't be pitch black dark.
It'd be dark when I get home. Then one or the other.
Anyway, whatever. I promise y'all remind me of myself and my husband. Arguments. We don't have arguments. We just disagree on things and keep it pushing. That's what I said, and keep it pushing. So, we already done with all of them.
Oh, we young.
Waiting on next season.
It's a young, famous, or young, rich, and African. One of them. Yeah, I'm on like episode 6. First of all, what's the old girl name? The main character. She messy as hell for no good reason. So I'm on the episode where she talking to her name Angie's husband. Old girl's her Two-Face, 2 Cent. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But she talking to him right now about renewing their vows and asking him what his vows gonna be and talking about how he need to be a better husband or whatever. And I'm like, she don't even like her. Like, why are you talking to somebody's husband and you don't even like her? So I don't know. That conversation was kind of weird, but I'm on that episode, which I think is like episode like 6, but I don't even know how many episodes there are. But I also finished Bridgerton. I finished Bridgerton last week. Bridgerton was so good, but I felt like Bridgerton season 2. It was so good. I loved all the diversity in the characters, but it was like a point we got like down to like the last 3 episodes, and I was like, can y'all just have sex and get it over with and get married so we can be done with this?
That's why I seen a meme.
Like it was just, I'm like, speed this up now. We all know what's about to happen.
I seen a meme, like a reel, I should say, and it was like, let me save y'all time. I've never watched an episode of Bridgerton, and it was like a recap of the whole season 2, and it was like a white man, and he was like looking at the black woman, and then a white dude. They flash back to the white man. Oh, they flash back to the black dude. They flash back to the white dude. They flash back to the black woman, and she just was kind of like looking like, don't. It was like fun, yeah. So.
It was because it was such a pull and push all season. I mean, it was just, if y'all watch Bridgerton, you know what I'm talking about. It was such a pull and push all season, and we all knew they was gonna get together like first episode because we saw their interaction in the first episode. So we all knew they were gonna get together. Then it got good when obviously he got in with her sister, but it's like it was to the point where it was like, we know y'all asses are about to get married. Like, have sex and get married already, so we can get so quick. Like. It was good, but I feel like they just drug it on like an episode too long. Like, come on. But it was really good this season, though. I wonder what they're going to do next season.
I don't know, but I think this is going to do it.
Okay.
So we will be back in 2 weeks. So set your calendars every other Thursday.
9 p.m. Make sure you're following us on Instagram too. We've been putting up a lot of reels, so make sure y'all following us on Instagram so you can see all of our reels.
You see all of our Phoenix fun will be up this week here. So
the Phoenix vlogs are going up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we were on the travel vlog. That's right.
So see all the Phoenix fun this week. So should be good time. So
all right, guys.
All right, everybody.
Thanks for joining, and we will catch you guys in the next video. Bye. Ooh.